Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
And here we are. This is Mike Lodge. I am the business advisor. And today's podcast is being done on this Saturday. Beautiful day out. Beautiful day out. What's the temperature? The temperature is 71 degrees. Nice day. Beautiful day. Day to be outside, enjoying time with your family, taking a walk, doing some hiking, some jogging, doing something physical today. That's what you should be doing. And of course, what am I doing? I'm sitting here doing a podcast, sitting down. Listen, we have a problem in the United States at the moment. Yesterday, I talked about we have no leadership out of Washington in our corporate America, in our businesses. We have changed the way that we do business and the way that we think, and it's hurt the United States. Because now we've gotten into this wokeness, and this wokeness is destroying brands and companies and even government agencies, even our United States military. I found a good article this morning, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to read through it. It's not that long. It's written by Victor Davis Hanson, and he wrote the article entitled "The Biden 10-Step Plan for Global Chaos." We have to ask that. So at the very beginning of his article, he asks some questions. And these are good questions. And I've been asking them in my mind and to other people, and we've had discussions about this. And I'll tell you what our conclusion is at the very end. But let's ask the questions first of what he puts here. Why is French President Emmanuel Macron cozying up to China while trashing his oldest ally, the United States? Why is there suddenly talk of discarding the dollar as the global currency? Why are Japanese and India shrugging that they cannot follow the United States' lead in boycotting Russian oil? Why is the president of Brazil traveling to China to pursue what he calls a beautiful relationship? Why is Israel suddenly facing attacks from its enemies in all directions? What happened to Turkey? Why is it threatening fellow NATO member Greece? Is it still a NATO ally, a mere neutral, or a de facto enemy? Why are there suddenly non-stop Chinese threats towards Taiwan? Why did Saudi Arabia conclude a new pact with Iran as former archenemy? Why was Egypt secretly planning to send rockets to Russia to be used in Ukraine according to leaked Pentagon papers? Since when did the Russians talk nonstop about the potential use of a tactical nuclear weapon? Why is Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador bragging that millions of Mexicans have entered the United States, most of them illegally? And why is he interfering in U.S. elections by urging his expatriates to vote for Democrats? Why and how, in just 2 years, have confused and often incoherent President Joe Biden and his team created such global chaos? So then he begins to answer the questions, and there's 10 of them. Number 1, Biden abruptly pulled all U.S. troops from Afghanistan. He left behind to the Taliban hundreds of American and thousands of pro-American Afghans. Biden abandoned billions of dollars in U.S. equipment, the largest air base in Central Asia, recently retrofitted to a cost of $300 million, and a $1 billion embassy. Our government called such a debacle a success. Been bragging about it in the last 2 weeks. The world disagreed and saw only humiliation, but they not just saw humiliation, they saw weakness. And in weakness, there's a chance to take control. Number 2, the Biden administration allowed a Chinese high-altitude spy balloon to traverse the continental United States, spying on key American military installations. the Chinese were defiant when caught and offered no apologies. In response, the Pentagon and the administration simply lied about the extent that China had surveilled top secret sites. In my words, they saw weakness. They tested for more weakness. Number 3, in March 2021, at an Anchorage, Alaska mini-summit, Chinese diplomats unleashed a relentless barrage at their stunned and mostly silent American counterparts. They lectured the timid Biden administration diplomats about American toxicity and hypocrisy, and they have defiantly refused to explain why and how their lab in China was birthed, and the COVID-19 virus was birthed, and that was killed tens of millions worldwide. Number 4, in June 2021, in a response to Russian cyber attacks against the United States, Biden weekly, I'm going to put in weekly there, asked Russian President Putin to at least make off-limits certain critical American infrastructure. Weakness. Number 5. When asked what he would do if Russia invaded Ukraine, Biden replied that the reaction would depend on whether the Russians conducted a minor insurrection. Incursion. I'm having insurrection in my mind. That's what I read, what I saw in my mind. Incursion. Number 6. Between 2021 and 2022, Biden serially insulted and bragged that he would not meet Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of Saudi Arabia, and one of our oldest and most valuable allies in the Middle East. Number 7, for much of 2021, the Biden administration made it known that it was eager and ready to offer concessions to re-enter the dangerous Iran nuclear deal at a time when Iran has joined China and Russia in a new geostrategic partnership. Number 8, almost immediately upon inauguration, the administration moved the United States away from Israel, restored financial aid to radical Palestinians, and both publicly and privately alienated the current Benjamin Netanyahu government. Number 9, in serial fashion, Biden stopped all construction on the border wall and opened the border. During the 2019 Democratic presidential primary, Biden made it known that illegal aliens were welcome to enter the United States. Some 6 to 7 million did. He reinstated catch and release, and he did nothing about the Mexican cartel importation of fentanyl, and has recently killed over 100,000 Americans per year. Number 10, which is the final one. In the last 2 years, the Pentagon has embarked on a woke agenda. The Army is short by 15,000 personnel and its annual recruitment quota. The defense budget has not kept up with inflation. One of the greatest intelligence leaks in the United States history just occurred from the Pentagon. And there's more to this article, but I'm going to stop right there because I want to think about what this leak actually did and what the media is not even talking about. And that is the fact that this war in Ukraine is not a winning war. It is losing. Thousands and thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have died that are underreported in the news or even by the Pentagon. They are not winning. They are not seizing land or territory. And what happens is that Russia has all of the financial means that they want because, listen, even though we did this big old oil embargo against them, it didn't stop them from selling oil. Yeah, they're selling it at a discount. But think about this. That oil is being sold to Saudi Arabia. That's why they're not producing anymore, because they can buy cheap oil from Russia. And they've got all of these new agreements between all of these countries, and America just sits here and we do nothing. So that is why we have chaos with our international former friends, is because they no longer have the faith in America. They no longer have the faith in leadership in America. They are beginning to think that the American dollar is not that stable, and the way that America is governing itself is not that stable. Listen, the dollar used to be very, very strong because governments used to look in at America and say, "Oh, that's a stable currency." So they traded in dollars because it was stable. But now China has gone behind our backs and made all these deals with Russia and India and Brazil now, and America remains silent. Have you heard anything about the trade negotiations at all with China? When was the last time we even sat down with China? I don't even think China wants to sit down with Biden because he's looked at as weakless and feckless. So, my ending portion of this is that it really does matter who we put in office, because that is what affects our bottom line, our personal finance budgets, that increases inflation, that increases the cost of things that we survive on every day. So we have a government that is no longer leading. It's not leading America for Americans, and it's not leading internationally. So do not believe that the president, when he says, "Oh, American is good friends." So he's over in Ireland, having pictures taken with all of these Irish extremists, and he looks like a fool. Why is he in Ireland when here in the United States we have national security issues that is harming the American people? And it gets worse and worse every single day. How long do we let this go on? How long do we let a man that can no longer lead, who can no longer make America strong, and make Americans strong financially, how can we ever trust him to do anything? Because everything that he does, it goes against the American people. He is so focused on his political agenda, or someone in his office is so focused on it, that they do not hear the voices of the American people. 6 in 10 people are living paycheck to paycheck. The majority of these people are out there with 2 and 3 jobs. That's why the job numbers are so good, is because people are out there getting second jobs. So each and every single one of us Americans, we have to ask the question, how much longer are we going to live with this nonsense that is coming out of Washington, D.C.? And by the way, those senators who endorsed this war with Ukraine, think about it. If your senator endorsed this war, he should be out of office. Especially my senator here in South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, who has pushed this war to the hilt. If you're in South Carolina, it's time for a new senator. This is Mike Lodge. I hope everybody has a great Saturday. I hope by asking those questions of that article and coming up with the answers at the end made us think just a little bit more of what is happening in our country. This is Mike Lodge. Everyone, go out and have a great Saturday. Love you guys. Bye-bye. If you have a business question, go ahead and send it to me at thebusinessadvisor@gmail.com. If you would like to have a consultation with me, go to www.lodge.co.com and make an appointment online.